Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Danielle and I'm from KJS Readings. So let's talk a little bit about the amount of uncertainty that's being discussed right now in the world in podcasts, interviews, just, day to day social media platforms. I just feel like the trending topics are around the uncertainty in the future of AI and jobs, what the economy is going to do, government policies and changes. And I just feel like, as myself being a consumer in the world, I've just heard so many people talking about what is coming ahead. So I just wanted to maybe keep things a little more relevant to the times, and let's just look at what is coming ahead for everyone. So the breakdown for this reading is we're going to kind of start off with like an energy check as per usual, just to see how you've been feeling lately, to see if this pile resonates with you. And then after that, we're going to look at more specifically what are some financial themes that might be coming your way, emotional themes, if there's going to be a lot of support for you or any opportunities that are coming your way. And we are also going to be looking at guidance and suggestions, because no matter what happens, there's always something we can practically do or pragmatically do just to create more stability for ourselves. So that's really my goal, is just to give you some maybe ideas on some early habits you can start today or start very soon to set yourself up for the most support coming your way or for the time ahead. And then if you are a YouTube member for the channel, there is going to be an extended where we're going to look at specifically how is your health physically going to be doing the time coming ahead, because just as I was saying, I don't want to like put any emotions on you, but the general theme I've been getting is uncertainty, confusion, and in some cases a little bit of stress for the future. So I just feel like whenever we have that going on, the first thing we want to do is just support our physical bodies. So that's why in this extended, we are going to be looking at how you can also start by setting yourself up for some physical habits that are going to help support you physically during this time. I realize I said the word physical like 100 times there. So anyways, if you're interested in that, you can always become a YouTube channel member, and you can also cancel at any time. So that being said, let's get into this pick a card reading. Pile 1 here is this little jar of clear quartz. Or bottle, sorry, it's a little bottle of clear quartz. And the card deck that you have to choose from is the Angels and Ancestors deck. I want to double check that. There you go, Angels and Ancestors deck. So that is pile 1. Pile 2 is, I think this is red agate. There we go. And we just have the archetypes card deck for you. Put those there. And then lastly, this says this is citrine, but if you are a crystal expert, you'll probably realize that this isn't actually citrine. It looks more like colored yellow glass. So we could call it maybe something like, yeah, we'll call it citrine, but I also kind of thought it looked more like yellow sapphire or something like that. So there is pile 3, citrine. And then your card deck option is the Wild Unknown archetype cards. So we'll just call it the Wild Unknown just to make it easier in the description box. All right, so if you have never done a pick a card reading before, I'll just give you a quick explanation now. If you are used to this, I'm sure you're already clicking off and going to the description box below. So for you who have not done this before, what we do is we just take a couple of deep breaths. We do this to get centered in ourselves and grounded. So a good thing to do is maybe to try to have your feet flat on the floor just for a moment. Maybe that's not the most comfortable for you right now, but just really feeling into the weight of your feet. It's trying to bring your awareness out of the mind, like actually like the head and the brain, down into the body so that we're more in tune with our intuition, our just like gut knowing. That's what we're trying to essentially use to choose a pile here. So after you do that, you might feel safe enough to close your eyes and take a couple deep breaths, one down through the nose, out through the mouth, and that just helps physically calm down the nervous system in the body so that if you are a little bit stressed, it might drop you a little bit more into the body and even bring to your awareness that you're feeling quite stressed. It just gives you some more information. So that being said, after you've done that a couple times, you just ask yourself the question, is there a message for me in one of these piles? And then you open your eyes and you take a look, and if there is a certain little jar here that's catching your eye, then there could be a message in that pile for you. If it's the card deck that you're just feeling drawn to, then that also could be the pile for you. A certain color is standing out, or if you're a numbers person, you can look at the timestamps next to each pile option in the description box below and see if there's numbers there that you've been seeing a lot lately, or a number sequence that just is like standing out to you. There's no real wrong or right way to choose a pile. It's just sort of following your intuition and just going with whatever you're feeling called to. If you get into the pile and the energy check does not feel right, then maybe try choosing another pile. It is always possible that this reading doesn't have a message for you, but there's so many pick a card readings on YouTube. Don't give up. It's okay. You just get back out there and you just scroll through some more pick a cards until you have that like, oh, I feel really drawn to this pile or to this crystal or the deck. And I'm for sure thinking you'll find a message for you out there because there's just so many. Okay, so now that you have the tools to choose, I'll let you do that now, and I hopefully will catch you in one of the card readings. And then just to point out, if you do want to find other health-specific card readings or kids or family-specific card readings, I do have playlists now where I've made it easy for you to kind of find all the videos around that theme on my channel. So if this pile isn't resonating with you, but you like the topic, there is playlists where you can kind of just easily find all of those types or genres of card readings. Hello, my friends here who chose the clear quartz jar or bottle. I'm just going to put it over here so you can keep an eye on it. If you didn't watch the intro, that's no biggie. I'm just letting you know that we're going to be doing an energy check so that you can see right at the start if any of this is resonating. Whenever we're doing a prediction reading, we just want to make sure that the energy check does resonate. So you might want to choose another pile if it doesn't. And then also at the end, we're going to be doing a extended for specifically your physical health and how you can set yourself up for like the smoothest flowing time. Because if there is a hard time coming, you know, there's always a way for us to create some new routines or get some practical systems down so that we can kind of make it as easy going for us as possible. So that's just my goal for this whole card reading today. So that being said, let's get into the energy check. Let's just ask all in love and light and for your highest good as always. How has pile 1 been feeling? How have you been feeling? Kind of felt like there's 2 cards, one hiding, which is interesting. I'm gonna make a note about that. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, let's just start with these for now. Okay, I'm just gonna fix the frame a little bit here just to make sure that you can see all the cards. So give me a second. There we go. That's a little bit better. So I actually am so drawn to the fact that, I mean, if you've watched other card readings, anytime the cards behave in a slightly different way, it is something we look at. So the White Witch, be the light. Honestly, what I see when I see both these cards coming out is like someone trying to be as lighthearted as possible. Someone trying to be as positive as possible. And it is really interesting because when I saw this Magic Guardian card come through, it says unlock the magic within. I'm like, oh, I can just tell that you're trying so hard to remain positive and stay happy and like Like, how would I put this? This makes me think about times in my life where I was like, everything's gonna be okay. I'm totally fine. You know, the universe only does everything for me. It works for it's always in service to me. You're saying lots of positive affirmations and you do believe it, but the problem is there's like a bit of fear. There, like you are still feeling the stress. And but there's another part of you that's like, no, 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 it's okay. Don't worry. Just make it through this. Just keep smiling and say your positive affirmations and everything will be all right. But what I get here is it's like um there is, sorry, I suddenly got something a little bit stuck in my throat. There is, oh, which is also very interesting. I think there's literally just like part of you that just wants to be a little more acknowledged, especially with clear quartz being your choice. And also, I always am curious about the deco that I feel like using. Sometimes I like literally want to put no like crystals in a card reading and I don't really know why. It's like I want it to be as like plain as possible. And other times I'm like, we need more stuff. So I just wonder if this pile has really been trying to get clarity on kind of what's going on in your own subconscious. Like, I feel like there's like some stress or some doubts that are coming up for yourself, but you're trying to kind of like be positive, not self pet or sorry, what's that word? You don't want to create self-fulfilling prophecies. So I think that's where you're kind of not fully listening to those little voices that are like, yo, we're a little scared about this, or we're feeling a little uncertain, or I'm not really feeling secure here. And I feel like you're like, there's a party that's like, no, 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 it's fine. So, um, yeah, I feel like there's like a desire for this little voice, that like insecure attachment that's like still somewhere in your personality. And sorry, I want to be clear here. Like, we all just have different parts in ourselves, and like all of them collectively form who we are. And I just feel like there's like this little part in you, and I do want to say it does feel little. That's why I feel like you're so capable of like kind of like smiling, looking at the positive things, and kind of like being like, it's okay, we don't need to look at that right now. And these doubts are just doubts, they're just fears, and everything's gonna be okay. But I do feel like the doubts and the fears just need to be a little more acknowledged, like just heard. So if you've ever heard about that trick in meditation when you're having a hard time quieting your mind, we say to like just acknowledge the thought. Like, um, for example, if you keep thinking about, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to check this thing after I'm done this yoga meditation or this class, or after I'm done this, it's so much worse when we kind of like don't acknowledge it and we kind of just like push it a little way and be like, no, 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 it's good. We don't need to think about that. But the difference between if we go, thank you, yes, I will do that after class, like you fully give it your presence and acknowledgement. Usually it just like, that's all it needed. It just needed to be seen, held space for, even for like a millisecond, and then it usually goes away. And I kind of feel like that's all this is kind of coming up to say is like, and I think you already know all this, so that's why I also am kind of explaining it, because I feel like this pile knows this, but because I think there is actually a bit of I don't want to know, I'm not sure if it's anxiousness or a little bit of stress, some kind of emotion similar to that, where you're just kind of like, I have a little bit of fear about everything not working out right now. But you're trying so hard not to feel like that. Like, I just keep looking at this person where it's like you're trying to clear the fear, but you've forgotten that first little step of just like sitting with it and being like, all right, this is my fear. Thank you. What can I do to practically comfort that fear? And I kind of think that's almost what it's needing. Like, if the fear is even just like, what if it doesn't all work out? Then it's just like sitting with it and being like, hey, like, what is the fear? And then you kind of like literally like look at that. If it's like, what if I'm not making enough money? Then it's like, okay, well, pragmatically, what are our options? And it's like, one, we could get a second job. Two, we could quit our job and get a different job. Three, we could sell some things. Four, we could try to reduce the cost of our expenses, and like literally like taking the emotion out and just looking at things pragmatically, and then kind of looking down each option and being like, okay, so what would be the next step if I did that? what would be the positive consequences and negative consequences, and then kind of choosing which option you want to go with based off of just that practical list. And then maybe even doing a few of those things and then altering them a little bit. But I just feel like it's kind of like walking yourself through those fears and finding, I keep getting the practical solution in case it doesn't work. Um, just by like trusting the universe, what can you practically do right now to feel more empowered and more in control? There is a lot about the heart chakra. So this is interesting. Let me just actually pull a card for clarification. If you guys have been struggling with receiving or allowing, trust in high forces. Okay, yeah. So definitely a little bit of a block in like allowing amazing things to come in. So we might pull some more cards on this later, but I would wonder if you have the time. I want to just acknowledge that because this reading is all about like small things you can do right now to kind of set yourself up for the most ease for the time ahead. And what's coming through is like a worthiness, allowing in because you know you're worthy of that help. I would wonder if this pile has struggled with things like, say, you want to win the lottery, but then you're like, but what if that means someone else who needs it more than me doesn't win? You're not going to win. You already don't think you're deserving of it or worthy of it. Therefore, it's already not even possible in the reality you're living in. So it's just like that's like an extreme like example, but this is where I'm getting with this is like if you don't think you're worthy of it, you will not allow it in. Um and your worthiness of it, I keep getting is like compared to others. Like you think you worry about others first. So like if this would take away in any way in your eyes from someone else, I don't think you believe you're worthy of it. So that might be like a very clear yes or no if this reading is for you, if you're feeling like that's true. Um, but you know what? The other thing I keep getting to is like you're trying to grow through that. So I think you've probably done some work, especially with the shaman card coming up. I think this might even be like, you know, how we're all like, I know we all have like our deep wound that we're constantly working through. And I think worthiness is one that keeps coming up in different forms. So you might have worked on it in different angles already. Like maybe you have a worthiness wound you did for allowing more in friendships, allowing more in your finances, allowing more in your friendships, in the type of life experiences you get to have, promotions you get to take, types of romantic partners you attract in. I do feel like you've really worked on it, but I do feel like they're saying like there's a little bit more. And I keep like these two cards up here, the White Witch, Be the Light, and Enjoy Growth and Reap Rewards. I just keep feeling like you're someone who's very good at putting on a face that everything is okay and that you're like, I'm trusting in the process. I'm totally fine. This is all part of it. But I do feel like internally you're kind of like, ah, like, ah. Yeah, yeah. So, okay, I wasn't expecting to get so much information just from pulling this one deck, but the other thing I want to talk about, just for some other practical ideas or suggestions for you, would be to maybe consider, like, especially with the shaman card, and I mean, obviously, like, if you're choosing a card reader who has a background in breath work and like other somatic practices, you're probably going to get messages where I'm going to suggest that. So I'm just going to say, when I see that there might need to be some somatic work, my thought actually is doing like some one-on-one or small group, definitely small group breath work, as close to like having it individualized as possible, because um yeah, the shaman card, like it, I mean, just the style of breath work that I've been learning. So it's like the Numa breath work. It's just like very, it's like intentionally dysregulating yourself. So it's like holotropic breath work. So it's intentionally dysregulating yourself so that you can get to that clarity about what is kind of lingering there. And I keep seeing that, like getting to the bottom of where this belief is kind of hanging out in sticking, for lack of better words, because I do feel like this pile is like definitely done a lot of work, which is why I could keep saying, like, I can see that you really do believe that the universe is working for you, it has your back. But I do think you also know that there is this belief here that's still holding you back a little bit, because it won't allow you to receive something if it, like, truly in your subconscious is playing, I don't deserve it over another. So that's why I'm just gonna reiterate why I feel like as close as you can get to like a personalized one-on-one, for some sort of somatic healing. So there could even be like some therapists that do some kind of like Hakomi or internal family systems kind of work. That would also be great. Something where it's like you can really connect with that part of yourself and why they're hanging on to it. Because I feel like this is just like one of those, like, when you were 4 years old or between the ages of 4 and 7, something happened where you internalized this belief that I'm not worthy over another. Um, that, like, when your consciousness now, or your conscious mind now, connects to that memory that formed this belief, I think it's just gonna be like one of those like epiphany moments where you start to unwind it a little bit. And you might have to do it a couple of times, but I feel like just even the first time is gonna be so powerful, because it's really gonna be like, that's where the roots are. That's where this limiting belief is still hooked in. And why I feel like it's so important for this pile to do it with a practitioner as close to one-on-one as possible is I feel like when things are that deeply rooted, sometimes we just need someone else to hold space so that we can see. Because we've been searching for so long, we kind of can get a little bit blind. Like, if you think about it, it's kind of like if you have a pet and you come into your house, you might not know the smell because you're so habituated to it. But then when you have someone else point out there is a smell, and then you go into the house, all of a sudden you can start to smell it sometimes. I don't know. Maybe that's just like a me thing, but I feel like that's it. And just like the physical support, because when it's really like when there is fear, like all these deep seated beliefs are rooted in fear. Um, and the fear that they're true, fear that someone will see them, something like that, that having that support of someone else, like literally maybe holding our hand or putting a supportive hand on a shoulder or a head, can be enough to like open the floodgates to seeing things. So that's just what I've learned in my practice. And I'm a very physical person. So like in a breath work, like if I'm struggling and then like someone puts just like a hand on my head, that is enough. But for other people, it's like if someone just says the right verbal cue, that is enough. But we all have our own wounding. So if you don't trust what people say, but you trust their actions, you might be more of a physical person like myself. If you're someone who never trusted or felt safe physically around people, you might trust verbal cues more. So you kind of just got to go off of what you know about yourself. Some people like both. But I just keep thinking about that, like really breaking free, seeing where this is. So I know I kind of just rambled for like 14 minutes there. So far where we're at for practical guidance is getting as close as you can to some sort of person who can hold space for you, whether it's in a therapy session, a breath work, some kind of somatic release, conscious mind connecting to the unconscious mind. Could be internal family systems. It could be I want to say parts work, but it's the same thing. Hakomi style trainings, psychosomatic therapies, they're all the same. They're just like a slightly different modality to get to the same thing. To really get to this, where this like worthiness and feeling like you can allow in things is still stuck. And then just acknowledging the being more pragmatic. There we go. Practical. There is some fears coming up about what if it doesn't all work out, and just saying like, all right, we're going to acknowledge that, and we're going to like just do this little list about the practical things we can do, and then deciding which one is actually feels the best and the most empowering to you. Because I do feel like there is a thing around feeling a bit disempowered because of this not feeling worthy. Okay, so those are your 2 actual steps. That is that is the 2 actual suggested steps. Earth guardians, stay rooted and grounded and take charge with authority. So this is like a really good summary about like both those things. So it's like staying as grounded in yourself as possible is going to help, because when fears arise, it's usually, if we're looking at it in an energy perspective, it's kind of like our soul body disconnecting from being in our feet to kind of being like in our knees or beside our bodies and like slightly out of body, which doesn't make us actually feel that strong in ourselves, right? Because we're literally not rooted in the physical body. So it makes us feel unstable or unsafe in the physical form. So the key things you can do here is just throughout the day, just maybe taking some of those circulatory breaths. So that's like the ones I always say at the start, where we take a deep breath in down through the nose. You try to feel it fill up the diaphragm. You can put a hand there, because at first it could be a little weird to breathe in there if you're not used to it. And we exhale out the mouth, and it just causes that circulatory breath. So we're making sure that oxygen goes through our whole bodies. It does actually, like physically, it is calming down the physical body. So maybe your mind doesn't love it, but the physical body does. And to do it a few times and intentionally trying to start to feel into, like, when I took that breath, how did my chest feel? Was it tight? Were my shoulders closer to my ear? And as you do that more, you start to realize, like, how often are you holding your breath? How often is stress actually making you tense up and tighten up, which then perpetuates the mind getting more stressed. So starting with the physical body is the practical tool. Yeah, and then the other thing you can do too, depending on how your life looks and your routine, you could wake up 5 minutes earlier and just do like a quick little grounded meditation. You could do like a chakra clearing meditation. And I want to be clear, this doesn't have to be long. I actually feel like the key to success is if you have it 10 minutes or under, because then if you do it twice a day, 3 times a day, maybe 5 times a day, you're actually having time to do it, and it's quick enough that every time you do it, it just becomes like that habitual habit. It's almost like, we'll say, this actually could be another fun one for you. So, for example, there is, I think I have it near here. Sorry for, you're like, what is Danielle talking about? Here we go. I have a smell, like a essential oil spray smell that I spray every time I'm going to do some kind of energy work. And now when my brain smells this smell, um, it associates it with being grounded, with like calming down and being of service to people. I'm no longer thinking about how good am I at what I'm doing? Can I do it well enough? I'm like, nope, this is like my go time smell. So I just like literally sniff it, or I'll spray it. And I actually makes me feel centered. Like, even just smelling it now, I'm like, well, I could just smell this all day. It's very calming to me, because every time I smelled it was right before I went into energy work, where I actually feel the most grounded and the most calm. So the most centered. So I feel like if you're someone like that, there's like little hacks like that that you can do. I would maybe recommend getting a smell that is easy to find. My one downside with this is it's actually kind of hard to get a hold of these things. So luckily it's lasted me like 3 years, but I was thinking how I should probably get more, because it just is like I need it now. I just, yeah, I guess I don't need it. I could like redo it with another thing, but I actually enjoy it so much that I will continue to do it. So, anyways, taking charge with authority. This is talking about doing the practical as well. Staying as grounded as possible and getting after those practical steps. So, figuring out those small things so you are most likely to be set up for success, okay? Um, it's like I'm waiting for you to be like, okay, Danielle. But I just like, yeah. I know it can get overwhelming sometimes, and I can feel like you're trying to hold it together, but I'm like such a pen and paper person, where I'm like, if I could just see written out, then I already feel like already it's more contained. Like visually, it's contained on the page. It's not this big monster that keeps growing and growing. So, yeah. Okay. Okay. That's what we have for your energy check-in, which had a ton of advice in it. We're at 20 minutes. So I do want to pull some cards for financial opportunities coming your way, because I do think that might be what this pile is worried about a little bit, because anytime it's like feeling out of control, I do usually feel like it can be financial related, or like opportunity, like say like maybe you have to renew a mortgage, or once again though that does talk about finances, renewing a lease agreement, something like that, and just being like, I know everything will be okay, but I'm actually really worried. So that being said, I'm just gonna pull some cards for you, asking, yeah, what is coming your way, what's coming up for pile one. All known life here is good. Financially, yeah. Whoa, we just put out that candle by accident. Okay. That one wants to come out, kind of. That one also kind of wants to come out. Okay, so cool. So once again, this is interesting because this is kind of coming out where that other card wasn't really, what was the word? Sorry, my mind just blinked. It is interesting that this is just coming out where that other card was, where it's like wanting to release a unworthiness block but not really being sure how to do it, and you've like worked on it for so long and so much, and you've kind of seen all you can really see on your own, and you're kind of just needing like a little bit of support, like somebody else to like help you see what you can't see on your own right now. So that is interesting. So that being said, declutter, obstacles and blocks are lifted. Yes. Okay. So once again, I really do feel like that worthiness block, the allowing in, allowing things to like to believe and see that you are deserving of it. We got like more advice around that. So I really feel like that should be like quite a key thing. Look up how you can maybe get that one-on-one support. So I want to say, like, there's always new people learning things. Like, there's always someone training who needs more hours. There's always someone in the world who's like, hey, I have a service, you offer a service, maybe we can do an exchange. And they can be totally different services. I'm just getting that because everything here is talking about, like, the people around you kind of want to support you, and like, your answers will find you. So I would say if financially it's not accessible to you to do a one-on-one where you pay for it, I wonder if there's an alternative service that you can offer in exchange. So whatever you currently offer for work, I think actually is pretty sought after. I feel like you do kind of alternative work. Yeah, that's what I get from all these cards. Is like, I feel like you're a pretty creative person. Like, you have very like, you're just you. Yeah, you're very much just you. Like, whatever you're offering feels like a representation of who your soul is. So that could be like kind of entrepreneur work. You can own your own business. I could even see some of you like just being into the, like the randomest jobs. Like maybe you're like a flower grower for weddings. Like you grow the flowers, or you make like all natural bouquets for flowers using wildflowers, or you I don't know, it just feels creative and beautiful. That's what I get from this pile. Whatever you create has a lot of heart in it. Which is why you're like, I know this should all work out because my energy's good, the energy I'm putting into it is good. Why isn't it working? And I think that's why the block keeps coming up. But I think it's like there's something that's not quite working, but the block is like in the worthiness. So how would I see this? I feel like once you see this hook of where it's like, I don't believe I'm worthy of this, is you're gonna start getting clarity on like some creative ideas where you're like, oh my gosh, why don't I try this sooner? Like, it's so obvious, it's right in front of my face. It's been right in front of my face this whole time. Kind of vibes, especially when this comes out as the third eye chakra. I find that very interesting. And decluttering, I feel like, yeah, that's like, I literally get like getting around all the noise, all the distractions. There was a podcast I was listening to the other day. I wish I remembered who it was. I actually was just cleaning my house for my landlord to come through and do an inspection on my house. So I could renew the lease. And so, yeah, I listened to a ton of podcasts, and I just can't quite remember the name of the one, but they talked about how the most productive people in the world, like Elon Musk, can like ignore 80% of the noise that goes on around them. And I was like, damn. That like really hit me, because I was like, that is my problem. Like, I'm not ignoring the 80% of the noise. And I'm like only ignoring 10%. And I'm having a hard time getting things done. And usually I'm someone who's very productive, or have been my whole life actually. And this last year, I've not been a very productive human. Like I'm sure we're all our hardest critics, but relative to how I used to be, it is a little weird for me, and I haven't been able to figure it out. So decluttering, I feel like that's literally like getting out all the noise so you can actually see what are the obstacles and blocks. Yeah, so like whether that is like you actually need to spend a day and you're like, I don't have a day, but you know what? If that cleaning your house is gonna make you more productive and find things easier and you'll get things done faster, that one day lost will actually be like plus time in the future, right? Like, I don't know. I just keep thinking about things like that. Like, there's these small things you can do to actually make your everyday more productive, more clear. Clear. Yeah. Yeah. That's a big one. Clarity. I think a lot of clarity is what you're looking for. But like I said, so in case you're not getting what I'm saying, it's saying like, um, looking at that worthiness block is going to be the ultimate decluttering. But then also, I feel like there is just like some small things that have gotten disorganized in your physical environment. So I'm going to say like house cleaning, maybe you need to clean out your car. Maybe there's like a practical thing with your vehicle you need to get done, like maybe you need to get serviced, new tires, an oil change. Like I feel like there's some mental weights that are just sticking and starting to pile up because you need to do it. You know you need to do it and it's not happening and it's just every day you weigh it's just that extra stress weighing on you and cluttering up the mind. So make even another list. Okay, we're like a list pile for sure. Make another list of everything you know you need to get done so that you don't yeah, like I'm like look at that. Like I'm not breathing so heavy. Like it's like that is finally done. It's been like that for months, maybe years. It's finally out of the way. So that is like number one. And then it's just like kind of decluttering until you get to like the root of the actual issue that you're not able to look at because it's being distracted by all these other need to do things. So, okay. Good chat. Okay, apologies there. There we go. Camera battery just died. And Steve is now here staring at the camera. Oh, Steve. Oh, Steve. Okay. Well, maybe this is too much for Steve. And now he's gonna eat things. Okay, you know what? One moment, please. All right, brief interruption from Steve. But now let's return to your pick a card reading. So yeah, deservingness inquiry treat. So I was saying, if you know anything about solar plexus chakras, which I feel like this pal might, like it's really like just saying like the biggest issue is this subconscious part. Like I want to be clear. Obviously, this is not all of you. It's just like a part of you, um, a small part. That's why you can't see it. I think overly well because it's just like lingering. It's tiny, and it's just operating really in the subconscious field. So we have the solar plexus here, which is like saying how your worthiness and deservingness of the things around you is like affecting how you're communicating and seeing things outside of yourself. So it's like you're literally only being able to see things from the lens of this worthiness. So how worthy you think you are is the lens in which you can see things. So um it kind of makes sense why it's like tricky. Look at that. The candle keeps going out. That's interesting. I know some people read candles and stuff, so I just wonder what that means. Like, it could even be for you. Like, I feel like you start to do very well, and then maybe something like burns out. Like, whether it's like you burn out, the opportunities stop coming, it just feels like something goes quiet or dies out. And I wonder if it's just like, once again, this worthiness thing. Um, yeah, it's time to disconnect from the world, so that you can discern and process your true thoughts and feelings. So I keep getting like, if you're someone who's like, I don't have time for this, there's so much I have to do, you keep getting like, this is gonna be the most productive way to use your time. So once again, I'm sorry, it can be frustrating when I just keep repeating the same message. Like it's really important that you get this time where, and once again, I do feel like support's important. We have two little pigeons here and two pigeons there, where it's like I think you need someone to hold space and help you get to the root of this. So I just usually this advice doesn't come through unless you have someone in your life. But over here it says moonlighting. So if you're like, I don't know anyone who can help me with this, then I feel like it's saying like you're gonna find the people. And then it's just about getting the date and time organized. So I keep thinking of like people who who might need a service. Like, I don't know, like I'm thinking like this might be where the creative ideas come in for you. Like really maybe spend some time on what you have to offer and like what services other people might need, and just like maybe email, message on Instagram, Facebook, all those things. Some people, and be like, hey, I offer this service. Can you possibly do a trade with me, or is there a way that we could reduce a price to do a trade? I feel like so good about that, because I even know, like, for example, I live in Canmore, Alberta, and like I had no idea until I moved here about the service industry trades. Like, you can pretty much trade your service for anything here other than rent, unfortunately. Although I haven't asked. I should maybe ask. You don't know until you try. But like it's crazy. Like everyone is like so big on like trading a service for a service, or if it's like one service is like half the price of another, then they'll even give you like two services for it. So I just keep thinking that, and that um, you get creative, you're going to find some solutions. You really need to spend some time brainstorming ideas. All right, I know some people don't love AI, but ChatGPT, you could ask them to help you brainstorm some some ideas. But I feel like you're a creative thinker as it is. So you could just, yeah, you could like prompt some things like, I can do this, I can do that. These are all my skills. What can I offer? Oh, look at that. Steve just brought his little toy in to play with. He loves chasing this little red jingle ball. So you can hear him meowing, or his ball. One second. Oh, he is so cute. He just comes up and he like drops this little ball, and he holds it by hooking his like fang into it and drops it everywhere. But he only likes the red toys in the house, which is weird. But I always wonder if he's like trying to tell me to be more grounded and to play more or something like that. Because, root chakra, all about grounding. Steve, all about playing. Look at that. He's like, just throw it. Just throw the ball. That's what I want. Okay. Anyways, Steve is disrupting this reading a lot in the best of ways. So, windfall of abundance and abundance mindset. So, I do feel like what I'm seeing here, like for the time ahead, is like there is going to be a bit of a brainstorming period for you. Like, honestly, if this is really hitting, I would suggest after you're done watching this reading, writing down some of those brainstorming ideas. What can I offer? How can I get this support? Because I know it sounds crazy, but like that getting this clarity on where this block with this worthiness, deservingness block is stuck is really, really going to help. And then after that, I think it's just going to be clear other steps you need to take to help yourself get um, more job opportunities, more clients, more whatever this income block I believe is happening, or like living situation. But I think this is very financial related. Um, yeah. And then I just feel like it's saying like once you get through that, then there's like nothing holding you back. Like you're such a creative thinker. I have to keep saying this pile. I can see you're such a creative person. You have great ideas. Your heart is in your work. You like your heart is just like basically your whatever service you're offering. Does that make sense? Like I can see that it's really wonderful. And if you've doubted that, I'm so sorry. It's not that. It's definitely feels like a deeper thing, like just like not able to see opportunities or where you could have leaned in more because there's something within you who's not sure you're deserving of it. Yeah. And getting more grounded, staying grounded so that you can know when you're starting to get more into these fear states, and essentially the blocks being lifted. Okay, I'm gonna pause this so I can throw this ball for Steve because he's just standing here looking so sad that I'm holding it in my hand. Okay, now being mindful of how long this reading has been running, let's just pull one more like conclusion card for this pile. Just asking what else you need to know for the time ahead. Anything this pile needs to know. And we are using the Golden Future Oracle card deck, which just felt appropriate for talking about future, especially when I feel like the themes that I've heard a lot of fear around are AIs and creative jobs and stuff going away. So manifestation and mind control, the new children, be all you can be, and travel. And the population, seize your opportunities. Yeah, everything I keep getting is there is so much opportunity for you. There's so much opportunity for you, but really keep getting like mind control, focus your thoughts. So getting rid of those distractions, I feel like that might even be something to look at. Like, is your this distraction, is your lack of focus, part of this self-sabotaging behavior that comes from not feeling deserving or worthy? Because everything's saying you're right on track. Like, you have your heart is in it, you have great creative ideas, what you produce is beautiful, and what you offer is beautiful. But then and what I'm getting too is there is a huge following of people who would be interested in this service. So there is lots of opportunity for you, but the block I keep getting is the focused, staying centered. Yeah, staying centered. Like, even in this card that talks about travel, what I'm mainly looking at is this person looking at everything over here except for the big thing they're making. So it's like I keep getting third eye chakra block is real. Needing to clear that third eye. So if you do your own meditations or energy clearing work, I would focus a lot on the third eye and the solar plexus. They're coming up a lot because it's around that deservingness and what it's allowing you to see, because you can't see what you don't think is even out there for you. So that's why I keep talking about the third eye. Manifestation, mind control. So I do feel like this is like finding a way to create as much focus as you can. So that comes back to that decluttering, getting done all those jobs that are weighing on you. Like, if you find 80% of your like downtime, you have a similar thought come up. So like, if you're like, oh, I need to get my car looked at. Okay, now you're eating food and you have a second to think, and it's like, I need to get my car to look at. Go get your car looked at, because it's actually costing you so much more than just financials right now. It's costing you peace of mind, stress, all your extra energy is going into whatever this thought is that is like, I need to get this responsibility figured out and done so I feel more stable or safe in my environment. So getting all those done. It's very pragmatic, which kind of makes sense. This pile is so great at producing their content, at creating the things they need to create, at offering the service they need to offer. But it seems like the practical stuff is what maybe you're struggling with. Like, this is making me think of like my struggles to post regularly on Instagram. When I see this, I'm like, ooh, Instagram. I should probably post on that more. So I wonder if there's stuff like that you're just thinking about, where you're like, I need to like practically write a list pragmatically. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I need to get these things focused and done and have a system set up so that I get them done in the least amount of time possible, and it doesn't weigh on me so much. It takes up as little mental weight as possible. Okay, so this is the end of this piles reading. If you are a YouTube member, then I will attach the extended link in the description box below. What else was I gonna say? We're gonna be looking at, yeah, just like physically what's going on for this pile over the next little bit ahead, and what you can do to set yourself up for success there. Yeah, I do believe you can cancel a YouTube membership whenever you like. So even if you do just want to like get the membership for a month, you do have access to all the other members only videos. And yeah, if not, totally cool. I appreciate it that you spent the, like, I feel like hour hanging out with me, letting me read your cards. And yeah, just wishing you the best. And you got to do some brainstorming, okay? Write down those lists of things you need to do. Write down the practical solutions to feel more empowered and what actions you can take today, because that's going to be one of those mental weights off of you, okay? All right, maybe I'll catch you in another pick a card reading sometime, and I'm wishing you the best. Hello, pile 2. So you chose the red agate little jar. I'm going to put it right over here. And if you didn't watch the intro, don't worry about it. We are going to be looking at, firstly, an energy check just to see how you've been feeling, what you're going through right now. And then any guidance and suggestions that might want to come through. And yeah, and then after that, there will be an extended reading for YouTube members around physical health that's coming your way and what to do about that. So let's just get started for you. All in Enlightenment for your highest good. Pile 2s. What's coming ahead for you right now in this time? How are you been feeling? What's going on? Okay. Ooh, I like that you have like all the chakra cards coming out. That's wow. Okay, you literally did get all the chakras except for the solar plexus, which is very interesting. So we have artist, martyr, trickster, father, maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirits, liberator, and fool. Okay. Interesting energy for this pile. So this is kind of specific. Every time I do card reading, I feel like I have to disclose that. If it's coming up with very specific things, I keep thinking about the AI boom right now, and I feel like this pile, I don't know if you work with AI or AI is very helpful in the work you are doing. This could be anything. Like you could be someone who works more in like a business world, but I also get that this could be like a pile who's like maybe a YouTuber themselves and talks about like channel messaging and channel messages, and like how to prepare people for like what's the vibe, like higher ascensions or like the higher earth or higher consciousness coming in. So it's very like it's kind of funny, it's kind of split energy, but the message is going to be the same, where you're both seeing how can this be of service to us. And I really feel like you're teaching people. So whether you are someone who's trying to really push the AI industry at your job, or you're to like clients or something like that, where you're like, see the benefit of AI, like it will free up so much space for people to do more of this other task. So this pile feels very pro AI. And like, how can it be of service to us? And when I see this martyr card, so it says learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause, I feel like you're trying to show people the image that you have. Like everything here is like you're trying to show people how this is of service. All of them is like, get out of fear, there's nothing to be scared here, this is actually for our highest good. So I feel like this pile, if anything, has been feeling a little bit frustrated sometimes. That's already not quite the right word. I think there is a little bit of frustration around the continuous fear of change, and and what would I say, like people like kind of like fear mongering, is that the word you would use? I think you're tired of the fear mongerers. Like whoever's pitching these like fears, it's like, no, actually, like it's not that way. I feel like you're fighting a stuffiness, like people wanting to like label something as all bad and like throwing it out, but you're like, no, like see the good, see the good. So like I said, I feel like this pile has been feeling very motivated to even influence people and teach people about how it can benefit people. Like the changing times is basically what I'm gonna call that. You're very excited for the changing times, and then even when we have like the father card over here, I feel like you're someone like there's so much coming through where you're like someone who does very well in sort of authoritative or leadership positions, because you like I think this pile is like super smart. One thing I was saying, all your chakras are online, which is really cool. You're like rooted, you're grounded, you're seeing like you're listening to your intuition, you're seeing how like the possibilities and the opportunities of the future, and you're connecting it to how it can serve others and serve whatever industry that you're in. So this is pretty cool card. Why I find this a little bit wild is like I just don't see the solar plexus, which I think maybe is good, because it's almost like instead of coming from like a ego place, you're really coming from like a rooted, grounded, inspired, like heart open space. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. So this one's saying maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirits. Um, yeah, this card is interesting. I think it's kind of helping other people not feel closed off. That's what I'm getting from it. Is you're like, your goal moving forward, I think, is helping people get out of a state of fear where they're not making like logical, rational decisions, and helping them see the potential and how to utilize the new age, the new times to the best of their abilities, and that there's always options and ways to utilize things to their benefit. So, once again, I don't, maybe you're an entrepreneur, maybe you're like, high up in a managing role, maybe you're a CEO, I don't know. Just recently found out there's not just CEOs, there's like CIOs and CROs and whatever those things mean. I don't know, but just different type of company person. Anyways, I wasn't trying to guess what it stands for, but I don't actually know. Anyways, that's not important. What is important though is like that you're actually in a time where you're on fire. You're on fire. You're pretty empowered. And yeah, the greatest battle is just helping other people know that they are also empowered and to get out of fear. Clear thinking. You're a very clear thinker. And I even am like not surprised you chose red agate, because this is just like someone who's very good at staying grounded and rooted and centered in themselves in chaotic times. So I think, yeah, I feel like this pile is like super smart. You're just like very pragmatic. I keep using that word a lot, pragmatic. Um, yeah, that's all I really want to say. Like, I just think you're so practical. Like, I'm already done, reading over. You know all the things need to know. You already know them. Oh my gosh, sorry. This is probably annoying for people like you to have people ramble, so I'm gonna get more direct here. First, though, I have to go pee, so I'll be right back. Okay, sorry, pile two. So I actually kind of want to ask what opportunities are coming your way, because that just feels like where this reading should be going. So what opportunities are coming your way in the time ahead? Whoops. Okay. Funny enough, I don't think I want those. Okay, you've got a lot of blue, which is interesting. But it kind of makes sense. Like, this pile is like quite capable of seeing things before others can, or being able to see things in a different way than others can. That's like your superpower, by the way. You might not realize that, or maybe you're starting to learn that, but you definitely see the world in a perspective that others just don't see. And I think it's because you can see things clearly and unemotionally when you need to. And I think a lot of people, unfortunately, can only see the world kind of in the lens of the fear they're feeling or the emotion that they're feeling. So it doesn't always have to be fear, but definitely by an emotion. And so, opportunities coming your way. We have focus on your priorities. I keep getting like, where do you want to shine a light? Where do you want to put all your effort in? Getting very clear on that. Windfall of abundance. So yeah, so this is what I keep getting. Like you see things, you see things. But you just need to decide where you're gonna put most of that effort, because it's like whichever avenue you decide to go, you're going to be quite successful at. People come and find you. So it's just like, where do you actually want to go? That's what you got to ask yourself. So, um, yeah, what is this called? Like when you you really invest in a certain direction. That's not quite the word I was looking for, but there is like a business word I feel like for this. Like who is your what do you want to do? Who do you want to serve? How do you want to serve them? And then getting after that, you're just going to be successful. And what I like about this is like I keep getting like people find you. People come to you. You put it out there, people will find it. You're kind of made for this. Like this pile is like very ingenuitive. Is that a word? I don't even know what that means, but you are, whatever that word means. You are that, because like you just understand, because you can think of things without that emotional lens. Like you're like, this is just what makes sense. This is what people want to see. This is what they go after. So this is what they need. And it's like actually super amazing. And then what I even like over here is like there's a little bit of crown chakra coming through. So it means like you actually do still follow your intuition. So like you are making decisions outside of the lens of emotion, but you are also being like, okay, but I do feel like trends are going to go this way, or I do feel like people are needing to hear more of this than that. So it isn't like you're a robot. You actually still feel emotions, and actually you're very quite connected to your heart chakra, and like I was saying, and to your intuition, your like gut feeling on things. So you're quite like a interesting rare mix in this world, just so you know. Like this is not a pile, I feel like, where a lot of people are like you in the world. And I think like this pile, like I just don't know how you wouldn't be successful in life. I just don't. um, you understand it. You understand how to operate in this world in a way that is functional, makes sense, makes the most money. But like once again, like you are just really also wanting to be of service to people. Like it's almost like you want other people to understand the code that you understand about how the world works. Like that's what I keep getting though, is like the coding of it. Like I feel like you just have like understood it in a way where it's just very like you do this, you get that. It's like it like is a code or a system, and I think you're just honestly going to spend most of your life trying to teach other people how to understand that and see the world that way. And maybe it's even odd to you that people can't quite understand the world in that simple way that you can. um which is just like, I know, a little wild, but like you just get it. You just get it. You're smart. You're super smart. So decluttering, this one is just like, yeah, really getting rid of any of the extra stuff that isn't your priority right now so that you can give all your focus to the things you're actually wanting to give intentional focus to. I feel like you're already good at this. So I'm like, I don't need to tell you this because you know what it's all about. And then this is like moonlighting. It's all about like really getting clear on the end vision, the end goal. Where are you headed? What are you trying to bring? What, like, this is, I feel like this pile is, it's so interesting. You're very business mindseted because you have a great business mindset, because I feel like I can just see you like pitching like the business plan to yourself. Like, what is the end goal? What is the end product? Who's our what is that called? Like your like best client or your best customer. I can't think of all the abbreviations, forgive me, but you just get it. And then I see like I get this like now just take the action steps to get there. It's so simple. I feel like that's just like how your brain works though. But also on a side note here, it does talk about making sure that you're still focusing on like doing some things for your own fun, because actually that keeps you productive. Like they say, like if you're only trying to use yourself as like a workhorse and you're only like trying to operate from a place of like I like minimal needs, minimal time wasted on other things, like there is a point where your human does need to human. So like if you're being too much of like a work robot, for lack of better words, you might start to find that you're starting to become less productive because you start to get maybe like a little less joyful. I can even see this pile being so good at sometimes putting emotions aside that they can lead them into like some like, I don't know if I want to call it depression, but like some emotions of numbness for sure, where you're just like, what is the purpose of life? Other than to be productive. It just kind of feels like maybe a road that you sometimes go down that isn't great. But yeah, so it's like to do some things for fun is actually important for you. Like most people need to prioritize the work they need to do. I think you need to prioritize remembering what brings you to life. So if that's seeing the world, traveling, a certain sport or hobby that you like doing, a certain person you like hanging out with, maybe you like gardening or just being in nature, maybe that really grounds you and reminds you of the beauty of life. It's just saying, remember to do those things because that sets you up for this actual, like, really good work ethic. But I even feel like this pile, like, you like to put it into like a time frame where you're like, this is my productive time, this is my chill time, and it's okay to have chill time so that I am productive in these working hours. So that's pretty cool. Um, Anything else this probably needs to know? We have deservingness. That's interesting. I didn't think that card would come up for this pile. Cooperation instead of competition. Yeah. So funny enough, yeah, some things you need to remember is like everyone's working together. And I feel like this is actually coming from like a corporate background of some sort, where it's like you need to beat the competition, you need to do better than the next person so that you can like make it. Like, and this is just talking about remembering that like you actually do your best when you connect back to like your why you want to offer this, why it makes you excited, why is this gonna service gonna bring benefit to the world. When you're operating from that lens, you are like, what would I say? You're in your like, I don't know, your flow. There we go. Your flow state, because you're just so connected to the reason why. Like, you're not just a robot. You're not just a workhorse. This is all coming through for a reason. You're creating this in the world for a reason. You're trying to help other people adapt to this world, and find less fear in it and see it more as a friend, for a reason. So just getting really clear on that. It's so funny, as I don't really think I have anything else to say to this pile, because I just feel like this is even how you work, though. Like, you don't just need me to re-say the same message for an hour. You're kind of like, okay, cool, thanks. I'm gonna move on now. Yeah, so cool. I'm gonna say thank you for being here, and yeah, like, yeah, you got this. I'm not gonna start repeating myself because you got it. So you're just here to like help other people, basically be able to be as efficient, practical as you, and like to remind them that everything is of service and not of a disservice. Because yeah, there, you shouldn't fear life, you should embrace it. And I really think that's what you teach people, how, in whatever job form you're in, whether you are like a YouTube channeler or a corporate worker, manager, officer person, that's what you're doing. So that's super, super cool. So anyways, I'm gonna leave this part of the reading here. If you would like to become a YouTube member, and hear the extended reading, you can do that. And if not, I'll catch you in another pick a card video. Yeah, see you around sometime. Good luck. Hello, pile 3. So you chose the Citrine. I'm just going to put it over here. And if you didn't watch the intro video, that's totally cool. We're just going to start with an energy check. And we're just going to see how you've been feeling lately. And in the other pile so far, we've been getting guidance and advice on what to do to set yourself up for the time ahead. But if not, we'll pull more oracle cards for that as well. So that being said, how have you been feeling, pile 3s? What has been going on for you right now? Okay. Oops. Let's go like that. Okay, so those cards over here. We have the Orphan and the Temple. We've got the Poet. We got the Lover, the Siren, and the Queen. Ooh, these are like kind of really fun cards to all come out together. And then we have the Ocean and the Maiden over here. A lot of feminine energy, which is interesting. Like, I get like a lot of like, well, like Queen is like a good way to summarize that. I'm actually not sure if I've ever had this card come out, actually, the Queen. Not really sure why I haven't. Yeah, very interesting. So, your time ahead, I think is actually going to be pretty similar to the time we're currently in. So what I'm seeing here is someone has kind of intentionally learned how to not get dysregulated from the emotions of the world around them, which is like super impressive and wow, amazing, actually. I feel like I really just need to take a second to acknowledge this pile and be like, wow, that must have taken a lot of work to not be so impacted by the community or like global issues, and to really just be able to stay strong in how you're feeling, and self-assured, as well as like just loving the world despite the fact that they aren't maybe always so positive. So yeah, the Temple and the Orphan card, what's really standing out to me is like, I feel like it's like you've built your own like temple or sanctuary or like even daily practice where you can just make sure that if you have any feelings that come up that are like maybe triggered by the outside world, or the outside world starting to get to you, that you almost have like a system or a habit or a routine that you pull out, or I think you're already doing. So maybe do like a meditation a day or something like that, a gratitude practice. I'm not sure, but you do have some sort of established routine where you reconnect to yourself, and I think you comfort any sort of insecurity or fear that might come up. So the Orphan card, it even talks about like even when parts of yourself come up that feel like you're alone in the world, or like like I feel like any kind of worst case scenarios start popping up. So this might look like the outside world really getting to you about fear around being supported, about having like any safety in your life, essentially. I think it's really interesting, actually. I feel like you've really recognized that a lot of the fear from the outside world is like losing housing, losing finances, losing the ability to have your basic needs met. Yeah, and I think you've just come to realize like I have built a strong, stable structure. It is secure. I'm supported. Like it just like feels like once you come back to them, the outside world and their fears can't really get through it, because there's no fears for them to hook into and grow. So I really like this. Like your inner child is protected by you. And this just comes with regular care and a regular practice. So that's super, super cool. I think it's a wild rose, interesting enough, which really goes on theme with these cards. Like there's so much heart in here, and like there's so much of like understanding that we are all connected, but sometimes we need to disconnect from our connected energies with the world. So if the world is going through a lot of fear energy, that's okay. You don't need to embrace it. So the poet over here is like still staying your beautiful creative self. And once again, I kind of get that bubble energy of being like, you're just very good at coming back to what you're grateful for. Like the birds are so free, and like that they can just like, I don't know, something about birds seems really important. Maybe just like bird watching. Or like, isn't there an expression? A flock of one feather, something together. I can't remember. A feather, a flock of a flock. Anyways, I don't know. I'm gonna stop trying to figure out what that I'm trying to say there. But like you have a very creative perspective, and you find the joy. You find the joy and the bliss. So look at that. Like there's so much orange in there. So it's so much that this talks about. You're able to find joy, gratitude, and bliss in places of darkness. And this is a huge, huge, like huge skill, I want to say, skill, ability that you have, attribute about yourself. And once again, I don't know. Some of this is like worked after, but a lot of it is like, I think you just are a grateful person. I think you're able to see the beauty in things, and you're just like consciously amplifying that. I wonder if during COVID you really got good at this, like realizing that maybe any dysregulation or fear you had was because you were connecting in too much to the conscious collective energy. So when I see Queen, Siren, and Lover, I feel like you're so good. So if you're like worried that maybe like if there is like a second lockdown, or like if something globally happens that's really big, I feel like everything that's coming through is like, you've got you. You're able to see the joy and the you can see the gift in things. That's what I keep getting. You can see the gift in things, and you're capable of loving people despite their state. So they could be in a fear state, but you can love them despite it. You don't take, it's like instead of like them impacting you, you're impacting them. You're spreading the love. You're not taking on their fear. It's actually really cool. Very intentional stuff though. Like I feel like you've intentionally worked on yourself to make sure that you aren't triggered, you aren't taking it on. Yeah, Siren, like I also just love that like you just keep singing your song, and you're influencing the people around you. The world isn't influencing you, you're influencing them. So yeah, I keep thinking like a golden egg. Which I know this is red, like red ruby or something, but it's actually so cool to see how you've been very strong in all this and not impacted by things. Sorry, we now have a Charlie involved, so Yeah, so I feel like it's kind of funny to say this, but I feel like this reading, all of it's really saying is like trust that you've got yourself and whatever comes ahead, all those skills that you've built up, all this strength and this belief in yourself, the support system you have in yourself, it was all worth it. Like you're so grounded and confident in who you are, you've got yourself, and all the work that you did, that you're going to be quite supported. I'm sorry. Charlie's just covering fire over here. So the other thing that is coming through for advice though is like we have the ocean card, sorry, and the maiden card. And the ocean does talk about honoring all of your emotions that come through. And the maiden card talks about oh, it's something along the lines of like, yeah, like definitely like honoring those any of those fears that come up, because I keep thinking like the queen is like strong and like kind of feels like the older version of the maiden, and the maiden is sometimes gets a little bit nervous, but it's like as long as you like acknowledge those emotions and work through them and keep them supported like you do up here, like um really like holding space for the fears that come up, for any of the doubts that come through, or any of the fears that come through, and honoring them. That's how you got to where you are, and that's how you got to be so strong in yourself, and that's how you got to be the one influencing the world instead of the world influencing you. You're very connected to your subconscious and like the little parts of you that uh, kind of run in the background. Like I feel like they don't run in the background so much because you're always checking in, you're always being like, what's going on there, what do I need to hear? I think you do a lot of heart check-ins, and like I feel like this pile for sure probably, I mean, could have done some sort of like kundalini yoga or kundalini work, might have done some somatic work. You might do some kind of work with like Isis, or um what is that called, like the Mary Magdalene tribe or something like that, Sophia codes. Like you kind of have those vibes, like very empowered feminine energy, like take action, see the shadow, not running away from it, embracing it, and then being set free because of that embracing of it. Sorry, my cat Millie is just now making some sounds at the door because she wants to go outside. So, anyways, I want to ask for advice about, so what do you need to know for the time ahead? Like, what's coming your way? We have dragons, send dragons to heal the world. Okay, I love this because I was like, this pile for sure is like pretty into the spiritual world. And then when you get like send dragons to heal the world, I was like, yeah, okay, we're on the same vibe. We're picking up, we're picking up what you're putting down. I don't know who we are, but like, yeah, like I think you're trying to literally like, you probably intentionally do some meditations or some work or some channeling, or you might even get into light language or that sort of thing, to just like make sure that the world is as high vibration as possible. And I really just feel like it's like, just keep doing that. Like if every day you send love into the world and you visualize like the war is ending and like compassion coming to people's hearts, like keep doing that. Like keep doing it. I feel like you already are doing these things. Okay, what else? What is coming your way? Jump shift your life, tune into crystals. Yeah, so definitely have like a vibe of like, don't drop yourself down to live in that fear state or in that lower energy, like just surviving and scarcity and like trying to just like constantly make it everyone's competition. It's you, it's them, it's like you or them mentality. It's like you don't need to go there. You don't need to go there. I know you already know that, but it's like just coming through as like a reminder, like you can stay centered in yourself and you're going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Don't feel like you have to meet people where they're at. They can meet you where you're at. Yeah, it's spiritual technology. Expand your imagination and share your vision. So it's interesting. One of the other piles, I kind of got the impression that maybe they're like YouTube like channelers or something like that. And I kind of get the vibe for you, and like you feel like you're someone who like might have their own platform or some sort of website or something where you like um teach people about channeling, light language, anything like that. I could definitely see this pal being really into light language, or just like light codes, or like working with like the higher realms of some sort, like this, you name it. Like, I feel like that's your vibe. Also, Sophia Coates was coming through pretty strong. So I don't know if you work with something similar to that, and I'd just be the only thing I like know to reference it to, but I definitely get that vibe. And it's like, I would say just keep sharing and expand your vision to the world. Like, just keep sharing people, or like the love, the possibilities, like that it doesn't have to be all scarcity. It doesn't all have to be survival. Yeah. Anything else? Illuminated Masters, be a spreader of love. Yeah, so you just keep getting a lot of confirmations. Like, it's like the same point being said again and again. You can influence the world around you. You don't need to be influenced by the world. Spread the love. Find your people. They'll find you. Like, I keep getting like, you just find each other. You're on the same frequency. You're operating in the same world as them. They're going to come across you. They're going to come across your content. It's just kind of how it works. Community life, embrace fifth dimensional society. Yeah, I feel like this pile is just really needing a lot of support and knowing that like you're good, your people are your people, and like everything's gonna be all right. Like there's gonna be, I'm sure you've heard this. Like this makes me think of like there's always gonna be like people on different sort of frequencies. Like some people say dimensions, but honestly, I think it's just people on different frequencies. Like some people can only see the lens of scarcity, so they're running around in the lens of that. And then there's another lens, and maybe it's people who see like energy everywhere, and that's awesome. They're in that lens, so they can see that. But you have to take the other lens to see the scarcity lens again. And it's like, just, you don't need to pick up that lens again. It's okay. You can keep the lens of spirituality, love on, whatever it is. However you see it, you can keep that lens on, and you don't need to keep taking the lens on and off to meet other people. They can meet you. They can put on your lens for once. Okay, look at that. Trust that all your needs will come to you. Communal market. So this is like saying, once again, this is like talking about like one, you're operating from like that lens, that other lens of non-scarcity. Things find you. People can find you. Like attracts like. People attract like-minded people. It's like everything. I feel like this just makes me think of global community. There's people all around the world. Everyone has something they can offer another. And like as long as we start asking for it or putting it out there, then we can start to find people who can like who we have a service for that they need. This makes me think of like equal exchanges, like maybe not always being money for service, but like service for service, or food for service, or something like that. So I do wonder if you currently live, say, like in North America, if you're going to be moving somewhere different, because I actually am so drawn to the fruit, the fresh fruit being picked, and being somewhere where people value that. Like they're like, here, I have this food. You have this thing that I need. Let's exchange it. Like, I don't know where that would be, but I just keep seeing that. So hopefully, opportunities ahead. Health and healing, tune into your divine blueprint. So yeah, lots about it's actually think of one of the other piles where it's like if there's anything holding you back from getting what you need, maybe looking into what is going on in the subconscious that's like running a program that says you can't have that you can't have this thing. And then when you get to the root of that subconscious program, that's when you actually can set yourself free. You know what? This is like such an interesting pick a card reading, because we went from like one pile which was kind of in between pragmatic, super physical, but also kind of spiritual, and then we went to a super pragmatic one, and now we're in a super spiritual one. So I love that there can be similar messages but for such different groups of people. So here we have the economy, trust your needs will be met. So yeah, there's so much going on where it's like everything's gonna be like, everything you need is taken care of, everything you need is taken care of. You're good, you're connecting with the right people, they're hearing you. Yeah. And hummingbirds are miracles, so it means miracles are happening fast. Miracles are happening fast. Stay centered and peaceful. That is the guidance. Like I'm like this reading's going a little bit random, but the guidance to here is that stay peaceful and centered in yourself, and make others meet you where you're at. So in the loving, compassionate, kind place, not in the place of scarcity. Okay? Okay. I think I'm actually going to leave this reading here. Yeah. And we're going to move into the extended. So we're going to be looking at specifically physical health and anything you need to know about your physical health and physical body. So if you would like to do that, that is available for the YouTube membership program. Once you become a member, you do get access to all the other videos. So that's kind of a cool perk. If this is where I'm leaving you, no worries. Thanks for staying, tuning in, listening to what I had to say. I hope you recognize that you've kind of attained a level of inner peace and centeredness that is like rare, and that you share maybe even with the world how you're able to do that, and you're like the possibility for a future that is more loving, more kind, and more cooperative versus competitive. I really think you're here to teach people that, and good luck on your platform, channel, whatever it is you're doing. And yeah, I'll see you around.